My name is Alessandra Daniele, and this is my fitness journey. Before I created Fit Girl Moves, you could call me a party girl. I was out drinking multiple nights per week throughout high school and through the beginning of my college life. Once I got to college, I created what's now known as Fit Girl Moves on Instagram, and I got into fitness by starting off as a runner. I did half marathons, a lot of mud runs, and I was running probably 7 days out of the week, sometimes totaling up to 50 miles. I was simply running, and then I slowly started going to the gym due to New England having cold winters. I would do mostly body weight stuff. I then became certified as a fitness instructor, and I started teaching insanity classes at my college, Central Connecticut State University, which took up a lot of my time as I was also the fitness director there. I would teach about 5 to 7 fitness classes per week. I eventually applied to be one of the Beachbody master trainers on their Beachbody talent team because I loved Insanity so much. I ended up flying out to LA and auditioning, and I didn't end up getting the role. So after that happened, I was kind of upset and I needed a new goal to focus on, so I entered my first bikini competition, and I was 12 weeks out. I started training with other competitors at my local old school bodybuilding gym, also known as the Super Gym, and I really got into it. I started eating super clean, your typical bro diet, and starting off I was feeling really great about myself. I was seeing my body transform, I was getting stronger, and my confidence just skyrocketed. 12 weeks went by and my body definitely made a huge change from when I started, although by the end of the 12 weeks I was down to eating like 1,100 to 1,300 calories per day, barely any carbs, and I was literally eating the same exact meals every single day, which consisted of chicken, sweet potatoes, brown rice, and broccoli and asparagus. I literally would not eat anything else. So by this point, I was really happy to be up on stage, and I was happy for the end to be in sight because I was just mentally exhausted and physically exhausted just from not being able to eat enough. And of course, after the show, I indulged in way too much food, and although I didn't totally rebound, I definitely put back on a few pounds after and kind of struggled a little bit mentally for a few weeks post-show, just accepting my body and accepting all these new foods again. This was my last year of college as an exercise science student, so I graduated and actually decided to move across the country to California for my internship for school. And I can honestly say it was the best decision of my life to this day. I worked at a gym called Fitness Quest 10 under Todd Durkin, and I ended up meeting Josh, who is the love of my life and my current boyfriend. For the first time in a really long time, I was happy and I was not obsessing about food or my diet, and I was just enjoying life out in San Diego. And we then created our business, which is now known as SD Evolution, because Josh is also a personal trainer. At this point, I was kind of lost in the gym. I was experimenting with just creating new bodybuilding exercises, and one day I actually was watching Josh deadlift, and he at the time was doing a power building type of program, which infatuated me because up until this point I've never done anything other than 3 sets of 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 reps, and he was doing sets of 3 and sets of 5, and I was just like, So I ended up researching powerlifting a little bit and came up with my first powerlifting daily undulating periodization block, which this was the first session that I had out in San Diego, just trying to test my maxes. It was a struggle at first, I'm not gonna lie, because right after I began my powerlifting training, we decided to move back to Connecticut, as Josh is from Connecticut also, so we ended up driving across the country together all the way home to Connecticut, and this was last March. When we got home, I continued my powerlifting training, and this was the first time in a really long time that I was not solely focused on how my body looked. I was really just wanting to get stronger and really learn as much as I could about powerlifting, and that's exactly what I did. I continued writing blocks for myself, so up until just recently I have been self-coached, and I would read and I would watch videos, and I just totally taught myself everything I could learn about powerlifting. It's literally consumed all of my free time aside from work, and it just infatuated me. Around this time, I also started incorporating flexible dieting into my life. As I mentioned earlier, I was kind of growing a fear of carbs towards the end of my bikini prep, and kind of when I first got out to San Diego, and then I totally just stopped worrying about food for a while. So incorporating flexible dieting really helped free me of that fear of carbs and of food in general. So I think last March when we got home, I was up to almost 300 grams of carbs after slowly reverse dieting and just getting my metabolism back up to where it should be. I feel as though I've progressed immensely since I started powerlifting last year. Not only physically, but my mental strength has grown so much. I continue to teach myself new things every day, and I'm constantly focusing on my form and just trying to be a better athlete. I decided once we moved home that I did eventually want to compete, because I realized that I was pretty strong for being only around 125, 130 pounds. Once I set the goal of hoping to compete over the summer, I cut about 10 pounds from the winter and did a nice slow cut leading up to my meet. I was so focused in the gym, and I just really gave every training day my all. And as I was doing this, my physique just totally transformed before my eyes. My first meet was the RPS Connecticut push-pull competition. I ended up getting first place in my class and best overall female lifter. So that was a pretty awesome way to start off my competitive career. And then I decided that I wanted to change federations and do USAPL. So I signed up for my first USAPL meet, which was in August of 2015, where I also got first place in my class. And I increased my deadlift to 335, and I increased my bench to 143. And I squatted at this one. It was a full meet, and I hit 265. I finished off the year at the Connecticut State Championship, where I also received first place in my weight class and hit PRs on all of my lifts once again. I never thought of myself as becoming a competitive powerlifter, but after the past year of not only competing but incorporating powerlifting into my life, I can honestly say that it is my passion, and I have grown to really love the sport, including the camaraderie of all of the athletes. Everyone is just so supportive and positive, and it is unlike any other community that I've been a part of. So you can definitely say that powerlifting has not only changed my physique and my mentality, but it has changed my life for the better. I am so much happier, I am healthy, and I am the strongest that I have ever been in my entire life.